tutorial starts with a song, but it's only a few seconds long.
Computer animation. Computer animation. Computer animation.
Let's get started with animation. Hello friends, today we'll do some colorful remashing. We're talking about mash and not mesh. This is mash here. And under effects here, special effects, you see the mesh menu as well. Basically the same thing. Well, we create, because mesh loves polygons. We can use NURB surface as well, but with certain restrictions. Okay, this most simple object is a cube. And this polygon cube here can easily be turned into a mesh network by clicking here. You see boring 10 cubes in a row. Really boring. And the original one is hidden. So these are just, well, representatives of the original one in a certain distribution here. The distribution sits here. And the strength of, or the main strength of mesh is that you can have not 10 but 1,000. Let's do 100. So there are 100 now in the scene, and you will immediately see how wonderfully they behave. Let's add some color. Add a color node. It creates a white color. Go to the color tab here and choose whatever you like, some kind of blue. Now you change the random hue, and then you see the different colors here appear. They don't render properly in Arnold. You need to take a few extra steps in order to render mesh colors, but never mind. And in the distribution, you have 100 now. They have a certain distance. You can raise that distance here. You can do all kinds of things, of course. And here you have the mesh repro, and that's what we're going to use. The repro is based on the single cube, which is hidden in the outliner now. If we change the size of this cube, for example, we pick it, press R, make it longer, we make all the mesh objects longer. Let's undo this. Okay, so they're here, and before we go to the repro mesh, we'll actually want to make them move a little bit. Where do we find this? Well, just locate the mesh waiter, as it's called, and go to signal, and we add a signal node. And you see all of a sudden they distribute differently, and when you run the simulation or the animation, they just wobble up and down, every one differently from the other. And when you want to change the position so they wobble a little bit in this direction as well, you just do this. Lots of wobbling. Of course, everything here can be modified, the time, the how nervous that is. But I'm gonna get to another point now. Let me hide this and create, under polygon modeling, a nice object like, for example, a sphere. And we lower the complexity of this sphere by reducing the subdivision amount here. So it's still a sphere, but it's more rough. We don't need a beautifully round sphere for our experiment. And now we'll create this object here, and the torus can be very simple as well. Well, not that simple, but in this axis maybe. It's a gray collection of objects, 4 objects altogether. Now I select all 4 of them and place them in a group, and that's Control G. So now they're in a group, and that group is called group 1. We call it Spacey group. So this basic group now sits here, and we have our other object hidden here, and it's still here, of course. I just unhide it. And now I go back to the repro mesh where we have that cube, and I delete it. It's really gone now. But instead, with the middle mouse button, and not by clicking with the left mouse button here, because then you lose this menu here, with the middle mouse button, move the spacey group over here. And that's basically all I wanted to show you. Now let's make it a little bit smaller, the whole original group, and hide the original group. And now we have complex wobbling of our new group with the same colors. And when you do dynamics with mesh and all kinds of other things with mesh, this always will be transported with it. So you just start with a simple object and then you exchange it by or with complex geometry. Bye bye.